Hey, hey, Sophomore T. So glad to be back. I'm your host, Alexis, and we're so glad you're here. If this is your first episode, where have you been all this time? But we're glad you're here. We want you to stay. And we have a very interesting episode for you today. We're talking about talent, because I know a lot of us have talent, but we have some really big talent on campus that we're going to be seeing coming up very soon, even today with an event we have. So we just want to get a quick vibe. Please introduce yourself really quickly.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. My name is Aaron Scott. I also go by Ron Mark. I am a senior here at Central, in senior standing anyway. I am a graphic design major, and that honestly runs the gamut of all kinds of creative mess that I can get my hands on. As you've probably heard, I can call myself a Renaissance man of sorts. I've been involved in so many different facets of artistic functions here on campus and beyond, but just for here, let's see. The radio station, WFCS 107.7 The Edge, got my Thursday morning radio show over there. I was a participant of going abroad with the graphic design and engineering program over to jolly old London for spring break.
Exciting.
I have also managed to win CAN's talent show and therefore be the opening act for the spring concert coming up.
Okay.
I know, there's so much that I've got into creatively that I can owe to Central, actually. So I am very thankful, and never in a million years did I think I would end up at this point of being able to do it.
Oh my goodness, we just have the whole, we have everything over here, the whole plethora. So I love that. It's a lot of involvement. We need this. This is good.
Keeps me out of trouble.
Definitely. I feel the same way. So, okay. I want to get to know your vibe a little bit more. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. So, say you're going to an event, maybe a party, you're going somewhere. What is the first song you're putting on?
Now, is this arriving at the party or pre-gaming for the party?
This is like a pre-game. It could be even arriving, but you cannot start getting ready. You can't think about anything. The song has to be on.
Yeah, 360 by Charlie XCX. That song is automatically going to put you in the mood, automatically going to get you, feeling every single oath that you have. Feeling sexy, feeling interesting, feeling like you're somebody, if only for the next few hours because you have something nice on. But
hilarious.
No, it'll definitely get you in the mood and get you right. It works for me, so it should work for anybody else out there.
I have to listen to that.
Oh, honey, you haven't gotten on Brat?
No. I saw the whole the Brat album, and it was giving 10s, but I haven't heard it.
It was so good.
So I'm gonna have to hear that. Okay. So, let's see. Free food or free merch event?
Well, see, I'm the fun one because I'm plant-based, so the free food does not always work out in my favor. So free merch, depending on how good it is, I'll go for the merch.
Okay, that's new. A lot of people always go for the free food. I know as an RA, that's the only thing that gets people to come to my program. And I love good merch.
I mean, listen, concert merchandise goes for $90 for a hooded sweatshirt. Yeah, free merch is in this economy, yeah, free merch.
Type. Okay, one last vibey question. Would you rather be a school mascot or run an event for a day? Any campus event here.
Given that I have DJ'd events here on campus.
Oh my gosh, what just happened? Oh.
Well, let me see. Okay, yeah, this one right here. Listen, I want to be Riker. I want to get in that mascot costume. I want to be the mascot. It doesn't even have to be for a sporting event. I want to be him so badly.
All right, whoever's running it. Oh, well now we can't. I don't think that can work because they're not supposed to know. They're not supposed to know who it is.
Well, I want to be it.
Okay, so he's telling you he wants to be it, but like we don't really know that.
It's manifestation.
You know,
Manifestation.
But you know, if it does happen, we might have to cut that out. All right, I love it. Oh, so interested already, so intriguing. So why don't we jump into the talent and like where you come from? How did it stem? Your background on it? How did you know that you had this talent?
Well, let's start from the very, very beginning.
All right, I'm all ears. Let me lay back.
Well, I am Hartford born and reared, North End.
Oh, North End. Woo.
Yes, near Blue Hills Ave.
Okay.
Went to school at Annie Fisher. Now, I was born and raised in a very conservative and sheltered environment. You've heard of helicopter parents. How about parasitic? But, I mean, I get it. It was for my safety. It's for my, you know, to make sure that I lived to get to this point, basically.
Right.
But my escape from at least going to school and church, respectively, out of anything else that I could have really done on my own free will, was drawing. I had what I'd like to call the Picasso gene. Me and my twin sister drew everything, all the time.
That's
Usually
fun.
the cartoons that I saw on television, you know, my little escapism, that was how I got out. And, you know, it blossomed into further things. I drew landscapes, I drew portraits, I drew wrong conclusions, you know, all of that. But from then on, aside from the drawing, it was also singing and music. I was dragged into my church's choir multiple times because mom is a songbird, so I, didn't get any formal music training. I got it through the Black Church, which is basically a free conservatory of sorts.
Right.
You know, you sing along with the choir, you catch the notes, you find your vocal part, and you adjust. A few people have asked me about my upbringing and said, wait, so you didn't have sheet music? You didn't have lyric sheets? You didn't have anything? Like, no, we just had the words on the screen and we just went along with it, and you find where you fit.
1000%.
Find where you fit is that's a hold on to that part real quick.
I'm holding.
Because but after being in the church choir for so long, I decided to live my truth, and that also came with getting ousted and. Coming out and getting ousted, that's funny. But when you are ousted, you're basically on your own and have to figure out your own way. And mind you, I was doing that all while I was at Manchester Community College, getting my degree over there and figuring myself out. In that whole frenzy, I managed to get involved with tons of open mic nights, around Manchester and Glastonbury, where I moved.
I'm taking that.
Listen.
Deal.
No, first 10 years in Hartford, then we moved to Glastonbury for the school system. But you also learn every ism under the sun with that, you know, the racism, the classism, everything.
Yes.
You grow up real quick.
Yes.
If 9/11 didn't make us grow up super quick, that will do it to you too.
Okay,
Talk
yeah.
about a culture shock. But after coming out, I moved over to Manchester and stayed with a friend. But in that time, I learned more about myself, how to take care of myself, what I wanted out of life, and that involved the open mic nights. One of the only things that really gave me life besides, in spite of like really crappy jobs and being in and out of school to, you know, get your degree, paying it out of pocket. But at one point, I managed to get to a stable place within myself where, I mean, I know who I am, I know what I want, but it came about in 2015 when the Marriage Equality Act went into effect, courtesy of President Obama and the Supreme Court, and, you know, same-sex marriage was the law of the land. There was a big celebration in downtown Hartford, and I was a baby gay fresh out the closet, didn't even realize that this would be happening in my lifetime.
Right.
We go down there with a few friends and celebrate, you know, a big old wonderful time. I met a person over there who I hit it off with very quickly, and he asked me if I sang at all, and I said, yes, I do. He said, would you like to join the Connecticut Gay Men's Chorus with me? I said, I did not know that existed. But I have since joined, and the rest is history. I've been a member there for over 10 years now, and the man that I met and hit it off with is now my partner.
Oh my goodness. Netflix, are you listening? I feel inspired. I feel like I want to run away and go to Hollywood. I mean, seriously, what a life. Wow, do you feel like at that point it was just fate? Like, do you feel like you actively went out and sought those opportunities, like even being in the choir and whatnot, or it just happened?
Well, I would say that a lot of my life was outside of my control from the beginning, but I knew at one point that, I knew about myself from 5th grade, and that's when your internal security system will go off and tell you, okay, Aaron, you have to self-preserve, you have to keep yourself safe, you have to make sure that this never gets out so that you can actually live and, pardon me, if not live a prosperous life, just survive. But at one point, it was a little bit out of my control that my older sister asked me, you're going on 21, I haven't seen you with a girlfriend, are you? So like 3 strikes, I'm out, literally out. But it was actually thanks to that I managed to come into my own and figure out exactly what I wanted, since that wasn't holding me back anymore. That wasn't something that I needed to hold back, because I've heard it said that the more you try to hide it, the more it comes out. Yeah. So I really didn't want to do that dance anymore. I didn't want to have myself be putting myself under that my own kind of pressure. It's a lot easier to live your truth when you're comfortable and ready. And I understand that there are people out there who may not be comfortable and ready. And I say, work within your own timeline, do what you need to do. But there was a campaign, or is a campaign called It Gets Better, and it does. It really does. Granted, of course, I was scared because, I'm Black, gay, and vegan. That's a triple threat, depending on your
triple homicide
constitutions. But you can thrive, you can live, you can excel, not just in spite of, but because of those qualities. Okay. And I've managed to kind of take that and take it and run with it as best as I can.
Oh, MG. GMO. Honestly, yes, tens, you're taking it all. I feel like just honestly so inspiring hearing your story and just hearing how you navigated life. And I feel like they always say once you're running away and then like you look behind you and then it stops. Like it's not chasing you anymore. And so I feel like that's just so inspiring that you knew from a really young age what it was, and you just decided, I'm gonna be me, Demi Lovato style. Like, you know what I mean? I love that. I love that whole background. I mean, whoa, like you never know what somebody is carrying, their life story. I mean, this is mind-boggling. Yeah. I'm truly intrigued.
Yeah. When I was in that, you could call it a box of sorts, being in Hartford and being in that very conservative and protected space, you look for escapism. So, I was doing that through the drawing and through singing and all kinds of little creative things. And, that gets stifled a lot throughout your life because, you're a guy, you have to act like this, you have to be this. And I grew up around basically nothing but women, Jamaican household, just straight up very, if you know, you know. But being in that, you kind of have to look for your own ways of being yourself and trying to have your own fun, find yourself through whatever else is being pushed on or pressured upon or influenced on you. And once I made the choice to get out of that, there's actually a relearning that you have to do. Because once you're on your own, you become your own parent. And you have to rewire yourself and really take inventory, get introspective and say, okay, which parts of myself are truly me and which parts of myself have been basically carbon copies of what other people have wanted to put on me or what other people have been that I've kind of taken on as protection. Right. And once you sort that out, and granted, it's a lifelong process. I am nowhere near like in my best self. Probably won't get that way until you are much, much older. But it really is sort of kind of a painful process of getting through, you know, really sifting through the inventory and file cabinets of your mind and your personality to really see what's going to stick, what's not, what needs to go, like what you need to work on, and what people actually appreciate that you may not. Right. Because if you if you go through life just kind of coasting and thinking that, okay, you know, I can just ride this wave with whatever I've got, at one point your engine will run out. Yeah. If you don't pour into yourself, like your good qualities, you can't just run off of your what you think might appeal to everybody else. You have to be true to yourself. And it took me getting away from everything that I've known, so to speak, in order to find that. Yeah. And sometimes that's exactly what it takes.
That's exactly what you need. Oh my goodness. You're eating us all up. I love it. I love to hear it. So coming onto Central's campus, because you said you were at MCC, how was that? How was transferring from Manchester coming into CCSU? How was that whole transition?
That was a little interesting because I was unaware of how quickly the process would have to take place. Well, granted, I moved into New Britain while I was still at MCC for the last year or so of my tenure over there. And since we were a few minutes from Central, I figured, well, right there, why not? But getting credits over was a little bit of a hassle since I was kind of all over the place with my creative endeavors, so seeing which ones would apply and whatnot. It was a slightly strenuous process, but once it smoothed out and I realized that, okay, I might be able to spend a little more than 2 years here. And this is my second year here right now, but I'm believed to graduate potentially spring 2026. Okay. But it was quite the environmental change because MCC is a giant glass horseshoe that used to be a bunch of trailers way back in the day. And fabulous school, absolutely wonderful college. I appreciated my time there and what it's given and done for me. But over here was such a big change. Huge campus that I can't actually get to the other side of in a manageable amount of time. I did not realize just how spacious this place was. But luckily, a lot of my classes are within the same 3 buildings. But no, this was kind of what I was looking for in a college experience. Now, mind you, I was in MCC off and on for about 10 years. I am 31 years old. A lot of people think that I'm a member of Gen Z because of how I look and act, but I'm a millennial. So that just goes to show you it's never too late. It is never too late. There is still time. Life does not end at 20 or 30. You can still keep going. But yeah, it's been good for Central.
Again, 10s, 20s. I love it. So getting your foot on campus was getting yourself out there like your first goal, like the talent shows and winning them. How did we come about that? Who did we speak to?
Well, since I managed to keep myself, make myself very small from upbringing into, coming out and all that stuff, I had to keep myself in a very small state. And I told myself at one point that I cannot afford to do that for my own survival and just for my own physicality. I mean, one of my nicknames is Sasquatch because I am tall, I am lanky, I have size 13 feet, and it all just goes together. But there's also the philosophy behind it of, the Sasquatch being a mythical creature and you don't know if it's real or not. And people didn't know whether I was real or not. They didn't know what face I was putting on. They didn't know what to expect from me because there are those who know me as the church boy and those who know me as, her son or her brother or, her grandson, but they didn't know who I was. So I said, you know what, I'm going to embody that and let the world know who I am. And that came about in the form of getting involved with the radio station at Central, which I really wanted to do at MCC, but there were a lot of other fish to fry in the meantime. So once I got that out the way, I said, okay, you know what? Let me get involved with the radio station on campus. I can play the music I like. I can talk about the topics I like. And that just kind of exploded from then on. I also got involved with the artist showcase that they had last year.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my wonderful buddy, Paulie. He is this 5'2" Italian 69-year-old man who sings with me in the Connecticut Gay Men's Chorus as well. We're also a band together. We performed and I figured, okay, let me get our singing talents rather, out there. And from then on, I figured, okay, you know what? I sang on campus, so, I can check that box off my list. But I thought, you know what? This talent show is coming along. Let's see what this is about.
Right.
So I thought, sure, I'll put myself in the running. And there were some wonderful acts up there. A lot of rockers, a lot of singers who are also rockers. And I thought, you know what? I'm a first tenor. So even though my speaking voice would probably expect one to think that, oh, I have a lower register, no, I can get up there, all right?
Hello.
But, so I thought for the talent show, I'm like, all right, let me do something that's, kind of in the range and still, palatable for folks. Mm-hmm. So I started out with Shallow by Gaga and Bradley Cooper from A Star Is Born.
Woo!
And I sang both parts. But I started Bradley's part in a very low register to kind of, make him think that, oh, they don't know what's coming next. They ain't ready for what's next. So when I come out with the, I'm at the deep end, it's all of a sudden they're just like, wait a second, who is this?
Right.
What happened here? And that, no, I was kind of, I didn't plan to do that song in particular first, but I auditioned with it, so I'm like, all right, let me do it again. Mm-hmm. But I figured that would be my good way to, bust through the expectations and kind of put myself on that platform.
Oh yeah, you came hot. Gave it all.
I came in hot, but then I ended even hotter because
how did you do that?
My next song, I only did 2 songs, but my next song was I Have Nothing by Whitney.
Oh.
And that's one of my karaoke knockouts. So I figured it's for a talent show. Let me just showcase the talent. And sure enough, I did it and, got some applause and I was feeling pretty confident. But then Devin, the host who was running it, said, you know what? Aaron, do you have time for another one?
Wow. What do they say? What do they say when they want more of an act? What do they say?
Oh, encore?
Encore.
Yeah, he said, do you want an encore? And I'm just sitting there okay. But this time I have to go a cappella since I only gave him 2 tracks. And at that point I performed Before I Let Go by the late, great Frankie Beverly and Mays. And that got some nice applause too. So I'm just thinking okay, he better not ask me to do anything more because that's all I got. That's all I got.
Right.
But then, they announced the winners and I found out I won and I'm just sitting there okay, I really did this whole thing on a whim, really. So I wasn't expecting to do all that, but.
Oh my goodness.
And then I find out I'm gonna be opening for Cash Cobain.
What? So they just emailed you and were like, actually, we want you here at this time in this date. I
No,
mean,
no, I found out I won the night of, so it wasn't like I was expecting there to be this, there was all this mystery behind who's going to be the spring concert main act. So I'm thinking, oh well, tonight must have been for the production of it all, but we'll find out later. No, we found out immediately that night.
Oh my gosh, you found out that. I myself, to our people watching, you'd be surprised. Your host does sing herself. Actually,
wow.
she does. But I retired after high school. Oh, but I sung, what is it called? Saving All My Love for You for my senior spotlight. Oh, love that song down, truly.
See, there's a reason I chose that song by Whitney. Now, mind you, it's difficult making political statements in this day and age, but for my performance, shallow was shallow, shallow was shallow, not literally shallow.
Right.
Before I sang I Have Nothing, I prefaced my performance of that song by saying that I'd like to dedicate this song to Black women and trans women who have given us life, culture, and so much more, because without them, we have nothing.
Thank you. And scene. Episode over. No, I love that. Truly. Oh my goodness. We don't even have enough time to talk about everything else. Like, can we just stay here for the rest of the day and talk more? I love it. Let's see. I definitely want to ask you this. So, you definitely weren't prepared to know that you were opening for Cash Cobain.
Right,
If you were to open for anybody in the world, any artist, who would you open for?
It would have to be Charlie XCX, okay. Miss Brat Summer herself. No,
okay.
I've been a huge fan of hers
be.
for years, but actually, related to her would actually be the late great artist and producer Sophie that she worked with very closely. She was a trans woman, electronic producer, and singer as well, who's made some really revolutionary strides in music production and going outside of the boundaries of what's considered pop. And I was just blown away by her style and her just everything about her, honestly, was just so otherworldly and different, but still incredibly cool. I managed to meet her once, actually, and we exchanged some wonderful words. She died in an accident in 2021, but I still hold her spirit and her avant-garde-ness in my heart. And she did tell me when I told her about my musical ambitions that, oh, that's wonderful, I'm sure you'll do well. And I've held on to that ever since, so I'm trying to bring that along with me in whatever I do.
Oh my goodness, I love it so much. As we wrap up our episode, I'm actually so sad. For our lovelies out there who have a hidden talent, I mean, I know it's really nerve-wracking to just want to be able to do something all your might and just not knowing where to start, where to begin, who to talk to. We have somebody who's out here and is doing it and giving it free of charge.
Me. Okay.
Right. And so what would you tell our lovelies out there who are gatekeeping their talent from us? What are you doing?
Goodness. Well, regret is a hell of a motivator. If you don't do it, someone else will.
Hello.
And you will get so upset that you did not jump on this before they did. Right. Fear is very heavy, though courage is not doing something in the absence of fear. It's doing something despite it. And I mean, I knew that I had it in me, but I was just afraid to really let that out because I was afraid of being vulnerable. I was afraid of being noticed. But I'm 6'4". You gonna notice me, okay? You will see me. You will. Anyone who's interacted with me will know that they are going to get a full-fledged experience upon talking to me, listening to me, seeing me. So it was a lot about just coming to terms with being at peace with knowing that, Yes, I'm a personality. Yes, I have a talent. Yes, it's okay to be proud of it. You don't want to get Kanye level. You don't want to get arrogant. You don't want to get too much. But at the same time, you have to be your own biggest cheerleader. And I'm not that good at that. I will admit, I'm not that good at that. But you have to pour into yourself. You have to find the right support. You have to get into the right areas that allow for you to thrive, that also allow for you to mess up. That also allow for you to mess up, because if you don't mess up, you do not improve. So get into those spaces, find those open mics, get into those comedy jams, get into those on-campus events that really do, that will provide you a platform if you allow yourself to. It's once you get past that little, scared part of you that says, I don't want to be noticed, I don't want to be seen. No, be noticed, be seen. You have the right to.
Oh, thank you so much. Truly, honestly, have made my day. I feel like I'm going to go on stage today with him and sing with him. So,
Girl, you reminded me, I'm going on stage tonight.
you are. I hope you're right. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out our Instagram, our TikTok, all of our social medias. We'll make sure to have all of Aaron's information out with this episode, so you know that you have somebody who can help you through the process of getting involved and putting your talent out there. We love you guys. We hope you stay safe, and peace.